Hi guys, it's Ben here from Music Fusion again. Just making another video. This time I'm going to concentrate on trying to make a drum and bass instrumental. So I'm just going to concentrate on a couple of parts. I'm going to do the like an intro, a build up to the drop, and then the drop, and then the main body of the track, and I'll do like 8 bars of that or something. So it's not going to be. It's only going to be like about a minute of music maybe. I'm just going to use here, let me just close all these. I'm just going to use a certain number of tracks here. I might add 1 or 2 possibly as we go on if it's needed, but I want to keep it kind of simple. Now that does mean that it might turn up being like kind of lift music, drum and bass, which is fine. You'll get the idea of some of the techniques and stuff. I've got all of the kicks and snares just on one Drum Machine Designer channel, which I talked about last time. I've made my own one, so it's not a pre-existing kit. You just bring up an empty kit, so bring up a Drum Machine Designer kit, and if you click on these on the plus, then it I'll show you. It brings up all the toms, claps, shakers, kicks, snares, whatever you want, and you can add to it. So, and I can manipulate those individually, volumes and whatnot. Then I've got one the same for cymbals and some effects, little effects bits. A sub bass, a kind of growly kind of bass, a bass thump, which I haven't picked out yet at all. I haven't spent much time picking these out, so as I said in the last video, I don't want to kind of get hung up too much on sounds at the moment. We're going to arrange for the sake of this video. We're just going to sort of do it and arrange it, and then play around with some sounds later on. A lead kind of synth sound, a synth pad sound, fill it out if we need it, a piano, just because, and then a riser kind of effect for our drop. I might add another one of those as well, and then some vocal samples. Drum and bass, for those that don't know, is basically an up-tempo dance music, usually made from well, it used to be made exclusively from drum samples, so old drum breaks and stuff being cut up and manipulated. So for like jungle music and stuff like the Amen break and whatnot. We're going to make it just fully programmed today, not using any samples apart from the riser and the vocal samples. Everything I do today is going to be made with Logic sounds or Logic loops for the vocal samples and whatnot. So everything here will be, you can access. There's no expensive third-party plugins or anything like that. So let's crack on. So first of all, you'd set your tempo for this. So the default Logic tempo is 120. So it normally comes at 120 like that when it starts. And this is up tempo, as I said. So we're going to set to 174. Now that number means BPM, you've probably heard that, or beats per minute. And the higher the BPM, the faster the track. And so say 60 BPM would be 60 beats, or 60 quarter note beats in 1 minute of music, which would be 1 every second, right? And 120 would be 2 beats per second. So it's just a way of quantifying speed of music. So 174 is almost 3 beats per second, so it's quite fast. I'm going to start off here. I'm going to create a pattern region. I'm going to draw everything in the sample here. I think it's nice and easy, and if you're just getting started with Logic, this is a great way to start your writing beats and whatnot. So I'm going to do a really simple kick on the 1, snare, I might go for that snare actually, start with snare on the 4, let's just listen to that. Cool, so that's the kind of thing we want, and then we'll put another bass drum in there. I might double up these kicks. That's cool, and then I'm going to cut that up into 4 separate bars. Okay, so this is, if I zoom in up here a little bit, so that's 1 bar, first bar, the second bar, third bar, and the 4th bar. I'm going to cut it up. Good way to cut things in Logic is to use the playhead, because you know it's exactly on the bar line, so because you can move the playhead around easily. And if you hold down the command key and press T, it cuts it. Which is what we want. So I'm going to cut it up into 4. Probably keep the first 4 the same for now, and then maybe the last one I'll just chuck in another bass drum here, and maybe one here. Let's have a listen to that bit. Not too sure on that. Cool, that'll do for now. We can always come back. I'm not going to get hung up on it. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to start off with the body of the track. So once it's dropped, and then what I'm going to do is I'll go back and do the intro and build up the drop. It's going to be very simple. I'm going to put my disclaimer out there again because I want to try and keep this video quite short, and I would spend quite a while doing all this. So symbol-wise, you can play around with this a lot, but let's just see. Let's have a listen to what we've got here. So 4 different, fairly different sounding hi-hats. Okay, so I'm just going to put one on. So these are 8th notes. Or quavers, and so these will go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if they do that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Oh, it sounds quite robotic, which is fine. And if I wanted to, I could sort of double these up a bit. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh, there. Cool, sounds, you know, it's doing something, isn't it? Let's try and mix these up a bit. Bit of variation. Cool. Okay. You know, it's not ideal at the moment for what we want, but until we get to the kind of starting to mixy stage, I'm going to keep that for now. It's something that I can write over, you know, and then I'll come back and sort it out. We've got the tempo, we've got the kind of general feel of it. I mean, what I'll be doing later on is maybe like putting these, it's up here, panning these around a little bit. So with the hi-hats, you see working there, and I might just chuck those out, give them a bit of width. So kind of moving around, you know. Let's get some chords in. So I'm going to use a piano for chords. And let's just have a little look what we've got. So I'm playing the piano in using this MIDI keyboard. You could draw it in or whatever you want. Use samples, get someone else to play it, whatever you want. I don't want it to be too kind of major sounding, so that means like too happy basically. I don't want it to be, you know, it doesn't fit the kind of vibe of it, in my opinion. So I'm going to do something kind of in between, just kind of not too dark. Maybe. Yeah, I'm just going to use A minor, G and F. So let's just have a little look at that. That'll do, just something like that. Cool. That's our loop. I'm just going to have a look at that, see how dodgy my playing is. So you can see it's just off the beginning of the bar. Logic doesn't play, unless you've got it set up to, which is another setting. It doesn't play, it doesn't catch unless you catch it from the beginning of the MIDI. I thought I did have it set up to do that actually, but obviously not. If you just select, I'm just going to quantize everything here. So select everything, which is Command A, and you want to move it to the nearest note here, 16th note in my case. Let's have a listen if that's right. You can see one of them is a bit iffy here. I'm going to move that on its own. Another dodgy one. Cool, that's the basis for our track there, nice and easy.